I like Madcap better when he was with Corbin. Now they put Madcap over there, and you say, what the hell is he doing? And Corbin, what are they going to do with him?
I mean,
I think he needs a whole streak. He needs a whole character change.
One more thing that I wanted to discuss with you is WWE and through Triple H have announced that the WWE draft will be returning. Worked Wrestling announced that they believe the planned date for the WWE draft.
What wrestling?
Worked Wrestling. Worked Wrestling.
Worked. WORKED.
Well, they spell it WKRD, but yeah, Worked Wrestling.
I got it.
They have reported that the planned date for the WWE draft will be on the May 8th edition of WWE SmackDown. Who would it be? Because you mainly watch SmackDown, as we know, because you do Smack Talk every week. If you could take one superstar that is not currently on the SmackDown roster to put on SmackDown, who would it be?
Give me that again. Wait a minute. I'm familiar with SmackDown.
Yeah, if you can take one WWE superstar who is currently not on SmackDown and place them on the SmackDown brand following the WWE draft, who would it be?
Well, I may have told you this before we went on the air today, but one guy that I think the fans are dying to see, but he's hurt, is Randy Orton. Now, and remember, we talked about time and time again how weak the WWE SmackDown bench was. And it was. But now they got a lot of strength. You put Orton on there, they're going to be packed. You know, you can't be too packed. I think that's what's happened to Drew McIntyre. See, Gunther kind of made him pushed him out to pasture. That's what I think. And Gunther is getting over. I think we will see Gunther. I mean, I'm not answering your question now, but I think we'll see Gunther as the champion one day. I think and when Cody wins it, I think they may transfer it to Gunther because in about a year or two. But I think Gunther's got a long run. But going back to Randy Orton, that's who I would like to see come back. Who would I like to see to leave Raw to come to SmackDown? I have no idea. Give me some names. Just give me a name.
Cody Rhodes?
He's on SmackDown. Oh, he's on Raw, right?
Yeah, he's a Raw's guy.
But isn't he a SmackDown guy too? Doesn't he go back and forth?
He was on SmackDown because he was facing Roman Reigns, who's a SmackDown star, and that's why he was showing up on that show. I'll put someone else out there, someone that you do know that was on SmackDown previously, but has been on Raw as of late. Brock Lesnar.
Now he's on Raw now?
Yeah, he's on Raw now.
I wouldn't bring him to SmackDown because he spent all that time on SmackDown. He hadn't been gone from SmackDown that long. SmackDown and Brock Lesnar, the thing you got to remember about some of these stars, they can wear their welcome out pretty quick. And see the draft selections, it sounded great when they first did it, but then they've kind of worn it out now. I think they can. How many picks can they make? Give me the rules for this damn draft picking stuff.
There is no. They always put out the rules like just before, and it changes every year.
Every year.
I saw you put out the post on social media, and I think more than anything, when you ask the question of who should switch brands, more than anything, you just got people who are complaining about how archetype this whole concept is, and how a lot of people just feel that it's played out. Do you think that the draft is something that can work, and how would you work it? I think is the best question to ask you.
I don't know why they don't crowdsource it. Why don't they just put it out to the crowd and say, we're going to switch 3 people? and say, and in every draft you got protected people that they can't move regardless, and then see what they would do with it. I'll tell you, one guy I would move from SmackDown to Raw just to see what he could do would be Madcap Moss, because he needs a change. Why they put Emma with him, I don't have any idea other than their real-time boyfriend-girlfriend, right? But they've done nothing with them at all. But they've tried to. I like Madcap better when he was with Corbin. Now they put Madcap over there, and you say, what the hell is he doing? And Corbin, what are they going to do with him?
I mean,
I think he needs a whole streak. He needs a whole character change. I think he's wore out that Baron Corbin deal, and I think he just needs to have an epiphany and to go off. And then, but before he comes back, anybody, they need to do these little vignettes on him, like they've had. Epiphany is a good name. They've had this idea, and they're coming back. By the time they get back, the people may be ready for them. I'm going to tell you a story. The Rock and Roll Express was put together in Memphis. I was riding down the road with Lawler one day, and he said, hey, I'm bringing Ricky and Robert in because we've been talking about them. And he says, what do you think we should, I want to give them some kind of gimmick. So we thought, and we going to, I remember the day, we were going from Nashville to Louisville. And I finally come up, I said, why don't you just, because Ricky looked like a little rock star anyway. I said, why don't you put those leggings on him and the handkerchiefs or whatever they do and call him the rock and roll something? He said, that's not a bad idea. We stopped at the next exit. Of course, we were close to where we stopped anyway. And Lana went in there and bought him like 3 or 4 rock and roll magazines. So he brought them out, and he was looking through them, and he said, I got the idea. What do you think about this? The Rock and Roll Express. Because it was a takeoff on the Midnight Express. So I said, sounds good to me. And I thought it would get over. Because individually, Ricky was, as a single, he wouldn't really get over. And Robert, as a single, would not get over. But you put them together, and what they created was magic. And they got over because the little young girls and everybody liked them. That's what you got to do with babyface guys. Everybody has to like them. And they got over. And then when they went to Mid-South, and I was talking about doing the little vignettes before they get there, Bill Watts came to Memphis, and he took all the rock and roll stuff, and he brought them down there, and he did about 3 or 4 like little video deals on them. They like a minute apiece. Coming soon, coming soon, coming soon. Hell, by the time they got there, they were already over. And the first time, I think it was, I don't know if it was in the Superdome, but the first time they had the big show, that's when they came in. They beat the Russians for the titles. And the Russians, they were like, like road warriors, and nobody could beat them, but the rock and roll, and they were made. And they drew they had a hell of a run there for about 2 or 3 years. Maybe not 3 years, a good 2 years. Then they followed that up, and they went to Mid-South, Crockett, and we know what they did there. So if they give it a little thought, and sometimes things are so old, they're new again. So if I was going to do something with these people, kind of put it on TV that they're coming and see what it does. Make sense?
No, it does.
It's like coming attractions, appearing soon. But say if you did it with Madcap Morgan, it's not Madcap Morgan. It's who gives a shit? But what if he's got a hell of a gimmick or something, but you don't know who it is. He's coming. Well, to me, as a fan, I want to see who it is. And I want to see what they have to offer.
One of the better examples from when I was like growing up was someone who, wasn't as big of a star and a legend as, the Rock and Roll Express, but someone I was instantly interested in from vignettes, Val Venus. When Val Venus with the whole porn character, especially because it's in the Attitude Era, I was only 10 years old. That instantly made me interested. Who is this guy and when is he coming?
But it worked, right?
Yeah.
Because you're interested in the character. That's my only suggestion to them, and I think it would work again. It's so old, it's new, so let's see if it works.
And they've tried it over the last couple of years. It's just not always has the payoff. One of the more recent ones was the Veer Mahaan vignettes, where every week it would say Veer is coming, Veer is coming, Veer is coming, and it just became a meme after a while because they overdrew it. They drawed it out too long to the point that it just became a joke. And then when he eventually did debut, he was over the first night, but he wasn't the type of person that was going to get anybody interested in after a while.
Well, I'm still not interested in him. Because first of all, I don't think he's an Indian guy, right? Veer?
Yeah.
So I don't know how much interest that would be with an American audience. And he didn't make it, did he? He still hasn't made it. And guess what? He still won't make it. They could keep him around 100 years. He'd still be Jerry Mahal is coming. How you spell his name? V-E-E-R, Veer?
V-E-E-R, yes.
Veer.
Veer.
That's a
Veer
stupid name, too.
It's probably his real name. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, that's not his real name.
No.
It's actually, that's not an Indian name. Because I was in India one time and I read a whole book on Indian names and I never saw Veer in there. I don't know
his real name is Rinku Singh. Rinku Singh.
I'd try that. I'd make him a magic man. If he's from India, give him a gimmick.
He's over in NXT with Indu Sher. You want to hear a name that we haven't heard in a while that didn't work with a character change? Remember Dancing Shanky?
I remember Shanky. But he was kind of getting over, though.
I know, and then they just, ever since Triple H came into power, there was certain people that, even though the gimmick was ridiculous, it was getting over, that Triple H just totally was like, no. It was Dancing Shanky, Lacey Evans.
Oh, Lacey Evans.
Liv Morgan
That's another one.
Was getting over.
That's another one they missed. Lacey Evans. I liked her. And I liked her. They've tried two things with her, I know. And I think if they'll give her a part and stay with it, she'll get over. I would like to see Lacey Evans with what's that girl's name? That is. She's hurt right now. I'll think about it in a minute. Oh, Chelsea Green. I'd like to see them together. I think they kind of match up. Don't you think?
Yeah. I think Chelsea Green.
And they got some pretty big girls in that division now. What's the Hispanic girl's name?
Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, she's a big girl. This is what I don't get with Raquel. When she comes out and she does the back pose. Wait a minute. If I had a girlfriend and she said, hey, and she give me that back pose, I said, well, that's about it right now. You can just sit down over there and I'll just ease on out the door and don't call me. Don't even look for me on Twitter or nothing. Just leave my ass alone, okay?
Well, her significant other.
Because I always made it a point never to go out with women that I thought could beat the shit out of me. It's just one of my, it was just one of my beliefs. And I can truthfully say today, sitting here, that I've never been beat up by a woman. Because I had vision, buddy. I was way on out there. I was way ahead of them.
Who are the women?
You know something, Sid? You need to be a little more serious when we do this. This is bullshit. I'm trying to talk wrestling with you. You're talking all kind of crap. Go ahead.
I was going to say, who was the woman in wrestling that you thought could beat the shit out of you?
Oh, there's been a few.
Give us the Mount Rushmore.
Who was that real big? She's about 6'6", 6'7". and she did like she had her hair all kinked up. What was her name? She was like in one of those Road Warrior type movies, a character like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about like Bull Nakano? I
No.
don't know if she was 6'6". No, she wasn't 6'6".
I'm gonna think about this name. She wasn't around that long, but she was a big old gal. So, who else? Who else did I think had beat my ass?
Yeah,
Probably a bunch of them. Because I'm kind of a, I say, hey, just lay back, let's be cool. You ever been around Jimmy Valiant much?
No.
Oh, brother. Beautiful guy. He's a prince. But he's on TV, yeah, brother, hey, yeah, he's screaming. And you say, damn, takes a lot of energy. You go back in the dressing room with him, and he's like this, hey, brother, hey, yeah. He's so meek. You said, wait a minute, that's the same guy? The first time I met him, I'd seen him before. First time I saw him on Memphis TV. Then he come back to the dressing room, and he said, oh, brother, oh, man. You couldn't think it was the same guy.